JMats here, GenerationD20.com, doing the 12 days of drafting, and this is day 2, which is as you can see there, Mirrodin block 64 player draft. I did a fair amount of drafting back in the day with Mirrodin block. What I kind of remember most about it was like White Weenie Leonin decks with equipment. Played a lot of those. So we'll see where this draft takes us. But I'm excited about that. First draft in 12 days of drafting was just Innistrad draft because it was before these 64 player drafts were firing, and that one I got to the finals. So with any luck, I have had one top 8 in the many 64 player drafts that I've played, and on that one I fell asleep during the second draft. So if I'm fortunate enough to make it that far, let's hope I can stay awake. At least these are starting at 9. Some of those other ones start at 10, which means it's like 1:30 by the time you actually get to the second draft. Kind of just push it late. Although this one was firing a little bit late because we have had to wait for enough players to show up. We've been at 9 o'clock, I think it was like at 50 out of 64, but slowly they've been trickling in, and looks like we just hit 64, and so we can begin. Here I see a lot of things I remember fondly. Spike Shot is pretty bomby, but I think Warhammer is just too good to pass. Living Hive, I don't even really remember. I know that 8's gonna probably cost too much, so I think it has to be the Warhammer. Keeps me out of the color also, in case I get past a bomb rare here. And I already said that I really liked the White Weenie deck, so that Leonin, whatever he is, Dengard or whatever, is tempting. Creeping Mold and an artifact heavy deck is nice. The Scepter also is tempting if you can get a Shatter on it or something like that. But the thing I remember about Scepter is it seemed like it was a lot of times 2 for 1 against me. I'd imprint a card and someone would blow it up. Excuse me. And those 2 cards seem to be a nice combo. Now I don't even know what that rare is. Draw 5 cards. Awfully intense black cost. I mean, if I was going to do it, now would be the time, but I like the longbow. I remember that being pretty good. I like the Fangren Hunter, the 4/4 Trampler. I remember him being pretty good, and in the format, 4/4 kind of being a key point. Like, there were a fair number of 3/3s, but 4/4 often went unmatched and would force them to have to 2 for 1 to get it beneficial. Nothing else here that really is tempting. Green-white, I'm always comfortable in those colors if that's where I end up. And here, let's say the Lexington Peacekeeper. Yeah, I don't like that idea. Nim Shrieker is probably the most powerful card here, or potentially most powerful. Prisoner Strike is a nice combat trick. And since 2 of my 3 cards have Trample, if I could get some more force or power bonuses, then I could just maybe trample in, really work with trample damage on this one. Have to see what I can pick up. There's another Hunter and a Copper Mirror. Goblin Dirigible actually is pretty decent as well. There aren't that many things in the sky that can deal with a 4/4 flyer. The untap cost is a little annoying, but still doable. Well, we'll take the hunter. It comes out a turn earlier, and we're going to be pretty aggressive. Or at least that would be the hope. So, definitely need a couple more early creatures to um, help with the early game. Iron Mirror could ramp me, give me a turn earlier. A second Predator Strike was also a consideration there, but I think the Iron Mirror will probably suit me better. Warhammer, one thing about it is that it is a little intensive, and I like to be able to cast it and equip it that same turn. I like the War Wagon just like I like the Dirigible. The untap doesn't seem that bad. Kind of at a hole in my curve at 4, so that would fit in nicely. And actually, if you have like full shot gauntlets or something, the untap can be a benefit instead of a disadvantage. And 7 cards in, I don't see anything. I mean, I have 7 playables already, and not a whole lot of synergy, but it's not awful. Okay, here, the joiner, I don't really want to use any sort of bump for him, so probably the chosen. There are a lot of artifacts out there. Being able, I mean, just a 2/1 blocker or a 2/1 unblockable is pretty good. The only thing I don't like about the um, him is that you can't equip your Warhammer to it. Now, as I remember, the Slith Firewalker was the best of the Firewalkers, but I don't know if I want to go that heavy red. Getting another equipment could be good with the trample, especially if I can pick up some more of those white weenies. I guess I'll go with it. I'm not thrilled about it. Here, the Elf Replica is kind of the pick. Turn Dust is not bad, and there is a few pieces of equipment, swords specifically, where you really need it. Battle Growth is playable, not great. And Golem if I don't pick up many more creatures. I could go with that. Sylvan Scrying is more of a constructed card. And yeah, Mind. That's actually a pretty good card in Pauper decks. Or has been used effectively against me. Yeah, I probably don't want my Elf Replica. Probably don't want those Golem Skin Gauntlets either. Or even my Golem. Golem. You make the call. So, here comes pack 2. Let's see if we can crack something good. Well, the Barbed Lightning and Echoing Decay both are very solid. Kind of, as a whole, this pack is pretty good. Purge, although I mean, it's an effective way to get rid of artifact creatures, or black creatures. It's on color, though I only have one other white card, so I certainly am not married to white. Oh, the Zealot is a good choice. cheap artifact and enchantment removal. Talons of Pain, as I remember, is not bad. The Lexodon who can tap guys is pretty good. Tango Golem is pretty good. But I like the early beater who becomes a removal spell. And here, probably the Morning Star. Morning Star is one of the better equipment out there. Like Morning Star, Warhammer. I can still looking for those white weenies to complement the deck. But you know, regardless, you put a Morning Star and a Fangren Hunter, and you have a 6/6 Trampler, which can be hard to deal with. Probably not going to play Battle Growth. Can be a nice trick. But here, the Golem versus the Lexodon Tapper. Probably go with the Tapper. Just answers more problems late game. Oh, Eater of Days. I actually had some success with that before, but Battle Mage is better for what we're trying to do. Eater of Days. If you can get it, if you can ramp into it on like turn 3 or something, or if you play it when they have no cards in their hand, so they have 2 chances to draw to finish it off, it could be pretty buff. At the same time, there have been multiple times I have played it and someone immediately shatters it, and then you just sit and watch them get better over the next 2 turns. So at the 2 spot, I have 4 creatures, and then I have to get all the way to the 4 spot. Looks like I'm not going to be quite as aggro as I want to, at least at this point. Ooh, and there's another Morning Star. Red must be pretty open too, that Pulse of the Forge. It's pretty nice, but Morning Star makes anyone, even if I can pick up some crappy 1/1s, that I can throw a Morning Star on or something like a Urslug. Now here, a bat would be something pretty nice to equip, but Outrider, the thing I don't like about it is it's just not that much better than my 2/1 protection from artifacts guy. Okay, here's a 1-drop who gets first strike. Or actually, that guy works great with the Morning Star or with the Warhammer. First strike can be something difficult to handle, especially when you're giving them large power boosts. I suppose the Outrider again. I mean, it's the best of what would potentially make my deck. Definitely have a slow spot at the moniker 3 drops. Protection from artifacts. Those other creatures. Going Courage. Have anything that's really repeating other than the Outriders, Hunters? I'll probably not play Infested Roothold, but it could be annoying to get through. Although right now I certainly don't have that many artifact creatures. But you never know what's around the bend. So for removal right now, I have the Zealot, I have the Purge, and Lexodon Mystic. Tangle Spider's kind of fun. I'm always a fan of Flash. Echoing Courage, probably not going to make the deck, but it's playable. And yeah, I mean, I guess it's on color. It's, again, not going to make the deck. Really looking at some of the cards I still have showing, they're probably not going to make it. Echoing Courage, Battle Growth. I don't know about the Outriders, depends on where I end up with other creatures. Golem's probably not going to make it. Infested Root, probably not going to make it. So the good news is we'll be able to decrease significantly. Salvaging Station. A Salvaging Station, if you get the Necrogen Spell Bomb, is kind of a good recurring combo, as I recall. Cranial Plating is one of the better equipment in the set. Skyhunter Prowler, that's good, but I see the Justice, which destroys an artifact and allows you to scry at instant speed. It's just too good. Too much good equipment and too many good artifact creatures out there to pass it. Here, something to be said for the Ferropede. And the Explorer would give me a little bit more ramp. I'm not going to have enough equipment for that to be useful. Suntouch Mirror. If I had an Iron Mirror out, I could get up to 3 different colors. But I think I'd rather, I mean, you can equip him, or you can use his ability here. Maybe the Explorer again. Just not that much else on my radar from those packs. And right now I'm at 25 cards showing. Some of these I think clearly do not want. Roar of Restoration. Reclamation. Don't really want that. Ferocious Charge, maybe. It's a nice bump. Plus the scry is always nice. I'd rather have that than Echoing Courage. And between that and Predator Strike, that can give me a couple nice ways to bump.